about finding these great opportunities on the MLS, the multiple listing service. You're going to tell your realtor to set up a different hot sheet. And just to clarify, let's just go back really quickly. Sorry, I should have said this earlier. When I set up these hot sheets for myself, I set up a hot sheet called 90 days on market, 90 DOM, days on market. So anytime I get an email with the subject that says 90 days on market, I know that when I'm opening up our properties that have sat there for 90 days on market. And then a separate email, a separate hot sheet for 120 days. And then titled 120 days on market. And then another one for 180, another one for 365. So those are all individual emails, all individual hot sheets, right? It keeps it clean versus one hot sheet for all of them. Then you have to check the days on market and go, is this one that's been on the market for 365 days or just 90 days, right? Because it matters. The longer it's been on the market, hypothetically, typically, the more motivated the seller will be, which will give you an idea on how good of an offer you can submit. Good in the sense that how low you can submit an offer based off of how good of a deal you're trying to put together. Okay, so now, completely different hot sheet. Now we do a hot sheet based off of the remarks that an agent will put into the remark section of the multiple listing service. So I like to put the letters TLC, which stands for tender loving care. So anytime a real estate agent in their remarks puts, who's, let's say, a listing agent who's selling a house, saying, hey, this house is beautiful, but it does need some TLC, a little bit of tender loving care, then I'm going to be notified the day that property hits the market on a hot sheet that's basically letting me know there's a property out there that somebody is specifying needs some tender loving care, which is a great opportunity for an investor to pick up a good deal because that house might be rough around the edges. See, when you get a house that's rough around the edges, that needs some TLC, that's not the house that typically, that's not the house that the newly married couple is hoping to purchase to raise their children in, right? Those are the types of opportunities that investors are looking for, because we're going to go in there and we're going to fix it up to then make it nice enough to turn around and sell it to that newlywed new couple that just got married who wants to raise their kids and live happily ever after, right? So by finding these opportunities like TLC, other remarks that you're going to set up in your hot sheet is handyman. Okay, the word handyman. Usually an agent's going to put handyman special. Another word they're going to put is investor special, but I just put handyman and investor. So that way if somebody writes handyman special, this house is a handyman special, this house is an investor special, I'm going to be notified in the hot sheet that somebody is looking to sell a property that's rough around the edges. So TLC, handyman special, investor special, estate sell, and then the word damage. Okay, these are all hot sheets. This is actually one hot sheet. All of these words will trigger a hot sheet to me if an agent puts any of those words in the remarks. So damage can usually be preceded by fire damage, structural damage, termite damage, water damage, and then the word also condemned, and then mold. So those are all, I'm going to set up a hot sheet with all of those words in there so that I'm notified that there's a property that just hit the market that's rough around the edges that, again, most people are not shopping for. So what does that mean? If most people aren't shopping for it, then it eliminates a lot of your competition. So if it eliminates a lot of your competition, your odds of purchasing that property at a great price go up dramatically. So if you're willing to do a little bit of work on an investment property or an owner-occupied, there's a lot of people out there who can do the work themselves, then this is a great way to go out and find some of these underpriced opportunities. Now again, you're submitting an offer based off of the numbers that need to work for you. The asking price is irrelevant to you. The asking price is relevant obviously to the seller. But our goal, again, isn't to buy a house. It's to buy a house that will be profitable for us. So you're going to analyze these properties when they hit your inbox in the hot sheet, whether it's TLC, handyman, investor, special, estate sale, fire damage, etc. You're then going to do the necessary analysis to figure out how much can you pay for that home, and then you're simply going to submit that offer. I did this search, TLC search, just the word TLC, tender loving care. I did this search on the MLS couple months ago in Salt Lake County, and there were 35 properties that the listing agent had wrote in the remarks, this house, the words TLC, basically this house is in need of some TLC. So there's 35 opportunities, again, this was a couple months ago, but there were 35 opportunities that I could have hypothetically submitted 35 offers at the price necessary to be able to find a good opportunity that's underpriced, okay? And again, what's super important is, depending on what you're looking for, patience is going to be critical. I know a lot of investors, they just want to get their feet wet, they want to do it as quickly as possible, and so they rush into a deal and they tend to overpay. So we want to make sure we're patient and we're strictly buying properties that make sense based off of the analysis.